Hello and welcome to the show. I am here today on GT Legends to do a spot of giant slaying. You see, I'm running in the 65 touring car category and using the Abarth 1000. This, an absolutely bonkers little car, has a mere 124 horsepower. However, it is very, very light. I'm talking less than £1,500. It is lighter than a Mini. However, it's going to be racing up against Ford Mustangs, Ford Falcons, Lotus Cortinas, and so on, which are some, rather impressive touring cars of the era. I'm going to be starting from 30th and last at the Mondello National Circuit. I'm going to try and make my way up through the order in a 12-lap race. Now, unfortunately, I spent a bunch of time kind of getting familiar with the game and learning this track, etc., only to find out that the AI have some issues at Mondello. Now, we'll get off the line, everything will be okay. The field will spread out, and then everyone will get stuck, because the AIs kind of refuse to use the pit exit area. Sometimes they're better than others, sometimes they're not. Now, for the sake of fairness, I'm not going to... Cause I could literally probably drive myself up into the top 5 here. So, we're going to find somewhere to kind of scoot back into line. There is a I don't know what else I can do really there moment. It is what it is. So in the end we will have made up some position. And very annoyingly, this is another one of these games that the AI go astronomically fast in qualifying and then not in the race. If I try and do this properly with qualifying and so on, the AI are absurdly fast, but then you put them in the race and then they're not, so it just doesn't really quite work. The Cortina is going quite slowly behind the Mini. The AI's issue is not racing with the player, they just can't seem to race with each other very well. They just get stuck. They can't seem to find ways past, they get distracted by the cars ahead. Every so often, one starts racing properly and then flies through the field, but most of the time, they just get stuck trying to overtake each other. But it is what it is. I am going to do what I can because I want to drive the Abarth at a circuit I've never driven before. Like here, the Cortina I know can brake a lot later. Admittedly, the Abarth is by far and away the best car under brakes. Well, I say by far and away, it's the best car here under brakes. The Mini's also pretty good. But yeah, the Cortina, because there's a car ahead of it, it kind of freaks out and doesn't know what to do. We're in P17, which is a pretty solid start for us. We're going to get the inside of a Mini into turn 1. Now we've got an orange Mini and a red Mini ahead of us. At the moment, we're not really doing a huge amount of giant slaying. There are no giants around us, unfortunately. We're just sort of slaying the other minnows of the touring car. Well, there's a Mini going to the outside. It's not going to work. You're going to be too far back as we head into this horrible, horrible corner here. It's not an easy turn to get right, especially not with other cars around you. I'm trying to get a good exit here, focus on getting that exit. The Abarth has got good traction, has got good acceleration, doesn't have the top end speed at all, but does have its strengths. We're going to go up the inside of the orange Mini for a position. I'm not sure what position we're fighting over. Is he going to try? He's tried to stick it around, but it wasn't going to work. We get a big, big kick of oversteer. That is the Abarth way. Oversteer and barely in control is the order of the day, really, for these cars. We'll side up the inside to make another position. Yeah, you will notice there is no HUD. I can turn a HUD on for external cameras, but for cockpit view it doesn't seem to want to turn on. Instead what we get is this pit board that comes up every time you cross the finish line. I quite like it. Oh crap, we're going to end up at the side of a Mustang. No, we're not, we just got stopped. I was about to talk about the pit board. It's quite a cool little retro, in keeping with the era, if you like, for cars. It's a different way of doing things. It means I have a lot less information while actually racing, but there is, an element of realism. I think it's quite cool. It's different anyway. Oh god, slow down. Mustang struggling through the corners. Abarth dancing its way lovely through the corners. Look at the speed. We're on the grass and we're still we're still foot flat down, and the Mustang's power will kick in down these short straights. This is going to kind of be our first bit of proper giant slaying in this video. We're across a curb slightly, little bouncy, but never mind. Oh, more curbs, more sideways. Don't lift. Now we're going to have a huge dive because we can, but that was actually quite early on the brakes for this final corner. I will take it though. The pass is done. And there we go. We are up into a... Wait for it. I should have remembered to check or taken notes. 12th place. 12th place in the Abarth. One of the difficulties with this car when I started first driving it is getting used to how late you can get on the brakes. So I did drive a couple of the faster category cars previous to having a go with the Abarth, and everything in your brain is shouting at you to brake, and it is telling you that you should not be able to brake as late as you can, but you can really brake at sort of the 50-metre boards around the track, and there is nothing else that can really do that. You'll see how early the Mustangs and the Cortinas, well, the Cortina is better, but certainly the Mustangs and the Falcons will be getting on the brakes, and this you can just dive bomb from so far back, but of course you don't have the straight line speed, so you've got to be aware of that. Oh, this Mustang's having issues. The Cortina's getting away, goddammit. I want at least that 10th place. We're going to go on the inside from an absolute mile back. In fact, that was, again, relatively early on the brakes. Look, I can see the cars ahead are getting away. We must drive faster, basically. We must drive faster if we want to be catching up to that next group. Unfortunately, the fields do seem to get quite spread out as well, quite quickly. In this, we're going to get on the brakes super late once more. Right, now we're going to have a couple of laps in clean air to focus on driving our car quickly and cleanly and not taking a trip across the gravel. That's generally solid life advice, not to take trips across the gravel in your race car. This is the first time we've done this corner at full Abarth racing speeds, because we've always had cars stuck ahead of us. One of the difficulties when you're driving a car like this in this sort of field is if there is a big heavy Mustang in front of you going slow through the corners, he can really hinder your ability to make progress, because where all of my speed is made up is through the corners. If there are cars blocking me in, you can lose quite a lot of time. Admittedly, with the Abarth, its big advantage here is the brakes. The brakes are so good on it that most of the time the heavyweights don't really slow you down, because you're just out-braking them constantly. So it's less, certainly of all the cars I've driven in this sort of style, it's not anywhere near as bad as some, because we have got such astronomically good brakes in comparison to the opposition. It does look like there is a bit of a kerfuffle going on. We've got a Cortina ahead of us, and then there's a big old group of cars that I am hoping we can catch up and join in the fight with, because we're in a little bit of no man's land at the moment. My brain is still telling me you need to dab on the brakes on the way through there, and you really don't, although that's one of the toughest braking zones with, well, any car, especially with the Abarth. Now, I talked about this when driving the Aussie racing cars. The whole, braking in a straight line is a very important thing in racing. However, there is often a little bit of leeway with some cars. This Abarth is not as bad as the Aussie race cars, but it's still, you've got to be very careful with it. Such a tiny wheelbase and interesting weight distribution with the engine at the back make for scary moments. That's a big angry looking pack ahead of us. We've had a really scruffy lap though, which has not helped our cause. In fact, the Mustangs found some speed. That was a poor lap. We lost about a second in all of that. But as that pack starts fighting, that is good news for me, and apparently for the Blue Mustang as well. Come on, Abarth. Come on, Abarth. I love this category that GT Legends has, or the way that it has its car list and it has stuff grouped. While the AI are not as good as I was expecting them to be, there may well be, I'm sure there are plenty of mods for this, and there may well be mods that improve them. I might have to look into that if people are interested to see more of this game. The way that we have this touring car category, just the variety of cars that are going on, that all work together. Modern touring car, modern any racing category, for the best racing, for the closest racing, and so on. Everything has to be pretty much identical for stuff to work, and so on. The Formula 1 cars back in the day could have all sorts of different engines going on in them, whereas now, everybody has to follow incredibly strict regulations, and it's certainly no closer at the moment. But we've got this tiny Abarth with very little horsepower, tiny engine racing up against Mustangs and Falcons, and it's all is kind of working. It evens itself out. Okay, admittedly, being in a game, they might have helped balance things a little bit, but on the whole, it evens itself out. Mustangs did race against Minis in touring cars, and I like having all of the variety in these, all of the possibilities 4 vehicles. Just makes it that little bit more interesting, which is why it's great to see these sort of cars in a game with as good handling physics and so on as this. As I said, shame about the AI, really. I spot our first Falcon victim and Alfa Romeo victim up ahead if we don't get all Abarthy through that corner. Yep, that was admittedly me being a little bit brave on the brakes, now going to be a bit brave on the throttle, and we're trying to go around a Cortina on the grass, and it's not worked in any way, shape or form. We are, though, going to go from a very long way back and get to the inside of that Cortina. It could have given me a little bit more space, but it was quite ambitious from me. God damn it, we're wasting time. We're wasting time. We need to get past. We need to get past. I don't know what lap we're on. I thought that was the what's it called board was going to give us some pitbull was going to give us some information on the lap we're on. It doesn't. Just gives us position and gaps to the cars. That's not helping. Well, it's guesswork now because I've lost track of everything. Come on, Abarth. We can do this. I need to stop. Need to just sort of take a breath, relax, and try and thread our way through this this group of cars. Oh, get it turned. Now we can get on the power nice and early. We've got the traction in the Abarth. We're going to run across the curb and a little bit on the grass, but it's fine. There's no major catastrophe out there. This is where we have got to be. So I can't get this corner right. I think I know what I need to do, but I can never get my car in the right place, and I'm never brave enough to really fully go for it, because if you get it wrong, you're just going to spin this vehicle. So you've got to be mindful of that. Cortinas are busy looking at the back of a Falcon and can't do it, so I will say thank you very much and take that position. How many cars can we get on the run into turn 1, do we reckon? I reckon we can definitely get the Cortina. We might even be able to get the Falcon's kind of going aggressive on that Alpha. We're probably going to be too far back. Oh, where is the Cortina going? That's some bloody hell. I think he was trying to defend, but it was kind of a wiggly defence from the Cortina. Oh, and there's not going to be an Abarth-sized gap there for very long. Bugger it. Again, it's another lap wasted. We've got a position. We need more places. We need more places. Now, I am going to have to brake a tad through here, because if I take that at full speed, we'll end up in the back of a Cortina. We will get up there, though. Oh, he's fighting back on the outside. He's going to keep it. He's going to just about keep that position. Will he be brave in this next corner? He's probably braver than me, because I hate this turn. I might have another Cortina having a sniff up the inside. Oh, I thought he was further back. I thought I saw his bonnet in the rear view mirror further back than he was. Okay, we got away with that. This is bad. This is all awful. It's all going wrong for me. God damn it. Having said that, though, we are going to have a look from a long way back. Cortinas are busy fighting each other now. I just wanted to overtake a Falcon. I just wanted to get the Falcon. And I don't know how long I have left to do. I don't think we have very long, but there we go. Come on. Come on. We can do this. We can do this. We can get the Falcon. We can get the Alpha. What are you doing? Are you guys allergic to braking in a straight line? They're just diagonaling it across the track for no real good reason. Well, we've got the pair of them anyway. I can understand defensive, but if they're going to go across defensive, you've got to be going across sooner, especially when you've got a car like this that is going to be committing to going up the inside and doing that relatively, well, it's relatively obviously almost. If you are going to go defensive, we're going to get the Alfa Romeo, and relatively cleanly done on that GTA. I want to get the Falcon before the end of the race, though. That will be my kind of checklist of giants to have beaten, or to have overtaken on track, and not with the cheaty start thing. So, there we go. We want to get past the Ford. Oh, there's some cars going into the pits. Obviously, there are some people who have had issues with their vehicles. There are mechanical faults and so on in this game. I do have it ticked. My Abarth could break down at any point, and, well, being an Abarth, that I'm surprised it's made it this long. To be honest, there's 3 cars, actually, have come into pits. They could have also had an accident on their own accord. We're up into 6th place now. How late dare we brake? We could have gone a bit later, possibly. I was a little bit wary of the Alfa Romeo, because I know those things are very, very quick. I didn't know how brave the driver of that was going to be feeling. Okay, again, deep breaths, just a little bit of relaxation before we do get into the battle, because it is going to happen, I think, especially with the Falcon now starting to fight with a Cortina. He's going to be slowed down. Oh, got big bouncy oversteering moments. They're the worst kind of oversteering moments, with the front wheel wiggling around in the air. The Ford having a look up the inside. I would be very surprised if he could make that stick. Indeed, he cannot. We are going to get a good run. Oh, no, we're not, because I've not got that turn right at all. We are going to kind of get a good run. We're going to be good under brakes. The Falcon goes sort of semi-defensive. I can't do that. I can't get that made. I've got to be wary of the Alfa Romeo as well, sticking his nose up the inside. Please don't be the final lap. Please don't be the final lap. I want one more chance. I want one more chance. No, it was the final lap. Ah. If I hadn't run, it was just running a little bit wide at one of those corners, sort of the penultimate turn. If I'd got that turned in better, I could have dove up the inside of the... oh, was it Mustang? I swear that was a Falcon with the taillights. Where were the Falcons then? Oh, were they further down? Oh, my bad then. Either way, I couldn't get past it. That's annoying. That's annoying indeed. There were... One car was a DNF. I don't know what on earth he did to that vehicle. But there we go. What were the best lap times? 1 minute 7.4 from me. Admittedly, I think I was stuck in traffic the entire way. The Alpha GTAs at the front were too quick for me. They were far too fast. Oh, this is... Actually, no, wait. It might be the Falcon, because this is in... Oh, okay, so fastest lap. Fastest lap is... showing cars, that show them in the fastest lap order, not necessarily in finishing order. Okay, that makes more sense now. There we go. A couple of cars actually ended up DNFing in all of that. A good race. A good race, that one. Slightly annoyed I made a little mistake that got me in trouble. The AI are interesting. I think interesting is the best, kindest way to put it for this. At times a little bit difficult to work with, but the cars themselves, the driving physics is fantastic. Some great categories and some surprisingly interesting and close categories for really rather different sorts of cars, which always makes for some exciting racing. That, though, is going to be it from me. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.